their quality is a little better because the fact is that I got a fan now. For those of you who don't know, I run crypto mining. That's my side job, and I've been crypto mining, but it takes a lot of heat. So that's when I put my fan up there. So sorry, I'll try to talk louder so you can hear. Um, this is just a few of my. I just want done a few videos, and I take feedback. Um, and one of the things people told me was that they couldn't really hear me because I kind of talk fast, and also I mumble my words every once in a while. I know what I'm going to say, but getting it here, I'm a Marine, man. What can you expect? So anyway, well, I'm entitling this one, and if you want to join in live, you guys can. I appreciate if you would give me some comments, give us some conversation we can talk about based on what you see, and maybe you can say something that you don't want to go on live and you don't want to put yourself out there, especially in Angelina County. This is titled. This one is titled Angelina County. What went wrong? It's going to attempt to explain um, the the reasons why we do not have a constitutional government in Angelina County, why our elected officials do not follow our Constitution, and the ways and why they well, go about performing um, illegal and unconstitutional acts, and they get away with it. First of all, Angelina County citizens have been raked over the coals throughout the years. This not only right now, but this goes way, way, way back when we were just a timber town, um, and the elite are the ones that are actually sitting in power now, or have been backed by those that were previously in office before them. They ripped off the county. They had money coming in from Lufkin Industries. They had the lumber business was right through. Was running right through Angelina County. It was a boom base because we had timber, and people would go and uh, work in the timber industry and make a damn good living. So, but along the lines, there was a lot of politics being played on who was getting the money, who wasn't getting the money, who was getting the jobs, who wasn't getting the jobs. So now we have a system of classism. It's worse than racism. Classism is defined as putting oneself above others. So, in other words, you're not accountable for all your actions. The ones who are accountable for those actions are the ones that you deem unworthy or not entitled enough to actually receive the same kind of treatment that others do. And they rely on bogus um, they rely on bogus credentials, like they graduated law. They actually attended school to be a county commissioner. All these things or whatever, but we're not seeing that displayed here in Angelina County as we speak right now because of the way that our justice system is actually performed. We see many lawyers that won't do business or won't represent clients in Angelina County because of this type of system and the way it's ran. If I hear one more person, an elected official, who says to me it's all due to COVID, I'm gonna scream. This is not all about COVID. This is actually even after COVID. So COVID shouldn't have anything to do with the government runs, and it certainly shouldn't have any play upon uh, diminishing civil rights for any individual. This is blamed. COVID has been blamed on everything to justify the the justice system and doing basically whatever they want. A great man once said, "Poetry is the truth is like poetry, and nobody likes freaking poetry. No one likes to wants to no one wants to question their ability because of the title or the name or what rank they have in the county. This is classism. They'll do so by gaslighting individuals who will actually say that they'll say, well, his father was this, oh, this mother was this, or whatever, and they judge you based on your name instead of basing it on your actual character. So this is where we stand in Angelina County. Now, what are we supposed to do about this type of issue, this type of problem? Well, first of all, you have to get involved. You have to understand that a lot of these threats that are made to you are unconstitutional, and that you do have a right to speak up and question things. Knowledge is power. If you know what they're doing and you know that it's wrong, you need to stand up and ask them why. I understand for everybody, and I talk to some people, I understand it's very difficult because the fact is that you will be held or betrayed as a dictator, a fire starter, things of this nature. The people, I want you to understand, this is what democracy is all about. This is why we have a democracy. We are supposed to actually question the ones that we actually elect. We elect the people to make decisions for us. And if we don't like the decisions that they're being made, we need to be aware that we can actually speak up and question their mentality, question their reasoning, question why. And they should be able, and they should answer you. That's not the case. How many cases or how many videos have you watched when somebody wants to talk to a commissioner, any public official, attorneys here in Angelina County, and they just turn away and say, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. You are an employee. You are our employee. You work for us, not the state, not anybody else. We elect you, and we expect you to actually listen to the citizens that are actually out there who have concerns or they have questions. For too long, we have actually had to sit silent. We have had to sit silent because of the fact is the threats that they actually provide. I know for a fact I got arrested for getting thrown out of a city council meeting, all for just stating that a law that was unconstitutional. I'll give you a hint at this law. It was actually burned in my brain because I can't believe that I heard a person in charge saying this. And it was the mayor of Huntington. Let me give you the quote. He said, little girls can't play softball on Sundays. It's bad for our appearance, and they ought to be in church. Now, if that statement doesn't prickle it back your hairs on your neck, I don't know what will. So now girls can't play softball on Sunday. What about boys? What about the girls who actually they actually wait for their dad to get off and they go to church at night? What about the girls that actually went to church and they come home and they want to play? And they're not allowed to play church on Sundays. That's kind of ideas that we get from these individuals. And it goes all up the chain of command. Our Angelina commissioners are supposed to be there to represent us and to listen to our concerns and not brush us off like we're just a piece of dirt on our shoulder. But that's not the case. And this is where the community has failed ourselves, because the fact is that we're not questioning these officials. And if you can't get answers from these officials, then you need to take other measures, put a freedom of information request and report it outside of the county. See, we are the oversight committee people. We're the oversight committee of those that we elect. So in other words, their actions have to be explained to us in a way that we can understand without being yelled at, without being pointed a finger out, without being any retribution, with anything. That means being a good citizen, participating in your government. Good, bad, indifferent, and ugly, it doesn't matter. You are participating in your government, And that's your job. You don't have too many jobs to be a citizen in the United States, but one of them is to, well, is to actually get involved in the people that you elect or the people that are appointed over you. Their shit don't stink. Okay. And we are there to call them out on issues that, you know what, it's just not right. Now, recently, we have learned, a lot of individuals have learned, if you want to get anything done in Angelina County, you have to go outside of Angelina County. That's a shame. You can't get anything done in Angelina County because you'll get the finger pointing thing. Well, they did that. I didn't do that. They did that. They did that. Somebody needs to take responsibility. Well, who? We've got officials that are sitting in our commissioner's office right now that we didn't elect. We got a judge that's going on trial, 17 indictments for violation of the Freedom of Information Act. And two other commissioners are actually being charged with the same thing. And they go to trial. In other words, they will go to trial and get their sentence and get their punishment or be freed, declared innocent, whichever one, but they will also do so before individuals who are sitting in the jail. Their priorities are wrong. Due to COVID, if you had to endure the fact is that your jail time would be extended because of COVID, after it's over with, that is time to protect. That is time to actually interject the program to where these individuals who have been late and put in jail to rot until they make a plea deal. Because God forbid you actually let a guy go to trial, because the fact is it clogs up the system, is what they say. Well, the priorities are wrong whenever you're putting officials who hold an office before you're actually hearing cases that involve the public. Is it a bad situation with COVID? Yeah, but I'm tired of hearing that. COVID's not here. COVID's over with. In some counties, judges, attorneys, they worked on the weekend to catch up on their backlog. Some counties, they hired retired judges to come in and hear misdemeanor cases so they could concentrate on the backlog of cases. But that's not what they're doing. There's a man that's been in for 1,087 days waiting on a trial. Now, people might ask why that this is. Well, because the fact is that most of the individuals that are in jail right now, they can't afford an attorney. At the attorney fees that are charged to individuals who are going on trial, not many can afford it. They can't even afford bail to get out. So how the hell are they going to hire an attorney? And our attorneys in the area, they actually thrive on that, because the fact is that they want to be assigned to a case so they can just let it sit and let it rot. Why? Because they get paid. They get to bill hours to the state. I know this for a fact. It was actually shown, the document, to where we have one attorney, Mr. Tatum, the meanest son of a bitch in Angelina County, made $101,000 off of people, indigents who couldn't afford an attorney, but he got paid by the state. So honestly, he has no benefit of hearing these cases. Our justice system is not doing their due diligence and getting somebody into a speedy trial. You have to ask for a speedy trial. Tyler Lopez has asked for it 3 times. They can't find it in the record. I can find it. And this is a whole organization of our justice system, from the judges all the way down to the lawyers, that they have an axe to grind, or they have an ulterior motive of actually doing what they're doing to harm individuals who they don't agree with. I'll tell you why two of our commissioners are under investigation for violation of the Freedom of Information Act. So is our judge. Let me tell you why. Because when Janet Castles went in front of the commissioner's office, she was asking for a raise to hire more attorneys for her office. And these individuals said, no, we're not giving you a raise. So we're looking at all of a sudden these individuals get charged with Freedom of Information Act. Violation of the Freedom of Information Act, all three of them. Meanwhile, they have another county commissioner who sits there, who actually manipulates receipts of what he did with asphalt. And when he presents these so-called receipts, it really didn't match what he had written down on paper. It really didn't really match there a little bit, but hey, they can get away with it because who's the question? And what is their penalty if they do lead the county astray, or if they do make a decision that harms the well-being of Angelina County citizens? I think as a resident, and people ask me if I'm from Angelina County, I say, yeah, what part? I say Huntington. I say, oh, it's a bunch of speed traffic. Everybody out there outside of Angelina County knows. This is why the papers won't run it, because they're threatened. Because if they're threatened with a lawsuit for telling the truth. Or our news organizations. They know that they'll get, if they say something that actually is truthful or questions the actual county officials, then there will be repercussions. Now, this is politics. However, we as individuals need to draw the line between politics and your own ticky-tack freaking vindication or your actual butthurtness that you have from another individual who is actually in our Angelina County system. This ain't no time for grudges. This is no time for ticky-tack bullshit. And this is what we have to deal with. We have to go and look, and we see, damn, these son of guns won't even answer questions about the stuff that they won't talk about it. There's no press conference. There's no nothing. They just operate without impunity. They are immune to the same laws that you and I are. Case in point, I have been a proponent, and I have actually stayed on the file with Tyler Lopez, and Tyler and I have spoken. The thing about it is that Tyler represents the mainstream of the general public of Angelina County. He is a perfect example of what a district attorney can do to an individual just by throwing him in jail and forget about his crimes, forget about a trial, and keep dragging it out, waiting for Mr. Lopez to break. Or him to say, you know what, shit, I'll just plead guilty and get on with my damn life. At this time, what you don't understand, and what the district attorney doesn't understand, is the fact is that he's in jail now, been there for over 2 years, and guess what? He gets two for one if they indict him, or if they actually charge him, or they have done that, but if they find him guilty, he'll be out. So it serves no purpose. And then they delay a trial. And I have to say, too, as a citizen, I have to ask our judges, why didn't you step in and say, hey, this has gone on long enough? After 70 days, then the judge should be asking, well, where's this trial at? Where are we close to this trial? I'll tell you the answer that the DA's office says. Oh, well, we're almost getting him to plea. He's going to plea. We're going to get him to plea. Why? How do they know that? Because the fact is because they know I'm going to keep your ass in jail until you plead. It's a victory for us if you plead it. And because the fact is we're going to attack the game title on you, the fact is that, you know what, then we're going to make it twice as worse. See, here's what happened. They were, the city was overwhelmed because of the fact that there was in 2014, there was a gang war between a gang and Nacogdoches. I don't know the name of that, but also it included in the Jackal Boy, the Pecker Woods, Aryan Brotherhood, or whatever. So there was a definitely gang war for whatever reason. I don't know, probably turf. But let's look at the generics on this. Let's just instead of going out for the perpetrators, let's just take every black individual from 18, 25, and we'll arrest them for these crimes. We'll arrest them for these crimes, knowing full well that they can't pay for an attorney, knowing full well that they can't come up with the money to actually get grant bail. Let me see if you think this is fair. Tyler Lopez was indicted. He was jailed. He was issued a $500,000 bail. $500,000, $500,000 to get out to bond out. He's got $500,000, laying around. I mean, nobody. They did it on purpose so he could not get out and they could put the pressure on him. They've already got 8 individuals that have already pleaded because of this fact. Not one of them went to trial. And it seems to me that if you finally give up on the actually getting going to trial, playing this merry-go-round that goes round and round and round and round, finally you say, shit, I want to get off this damn thing. Then they won. In my next video, I will tell you how the defense will play out. I'm sorry, not the defense, but the prosecution will play out this case. I've already figured it out. I'm not as dumb as I seem, and I do a lot of research. And this tactic that they're using, it's basically, I'll say this, people won't understand, but it's basically, I'll explain it later, but it's basically this: John Benet Ramsey case, or the what was it? John Ramsey case, and also the other one with what's her name, killed her baby, and then they duct taped it, whatever. I can't remember her name right now off the top of my head. But anyway, they're going to use the same kind of tactic that they used on it. It's old. Most attorneys can see it coming from a mile away, but not Angelina County attorneys. I will be honest with you. If I get arrested again, if they want to throw me in jail again, I will obtain an attorney outside of Angelina County. I will not trust my life, my well-being to anyone in Angelina County. The proof is in the pudding. We've seen what they've done. We've seen how they go about it, and nothing has changed. It just goes from worse to worse to worse to worse. Now, individuals of Angelina County, I'm not actually getting on you. I'm not saying that we're wrong. What I'm saying is that we have been treated this way for so long. We think it's okay. We think what they're doing is okay. We think it's okay that the commissioners can actually meet and actually make decisions before they meet in public. Let me tell you why I think so. Because the fact is that every issue that comes up, they all vote unanimously. Nobody votes no. Can you think maybe that they're actually meeting beforehand, or they get the feeling that how everybody else is going to vote, so they can vote the same way? That won't be a pain in the ass. Think so. Looks like it. But we still have the issue of our justice system failing the public. And we also have the issue of the fact is that our judges have lost control of their own courtrooms. I don't know why, I don't know how or when it happened, but if you have a case coming before you, if the same name coming before you for multiple times, and you keep continuing it, at some point, if I was a judge, I'd say, you know what, let's get this bullshit over with. You're clogging up my docket. You're clogging up my docket. Let's get this bullshit over with. Let's go to trial. For some reason, the district attorney gets away with 3, 4, 5 continuances, or the attorneys here get away with 4 or 5 continuances. And the judge never steps in and says, let's go to trial. So there's that issue as well. So there's many questions that are involved in that. But we have to be honest and we have to start asking these questions. We need to start doing our due diligence as a citizen of Texas and as a citizen of Angelina County. We have the right. We have the Constitution that tells us we have that right to ask questions. We cannot be jailed because we're asking questions. We cannot be jailed because the fact is we disagree with someone and we let them know. Now, I have to admire Sheriff Sanchez. Sheriff Sanchez, I question some of his, I question his motives or whatever, but what I can't do is I cannot, in my heart, I cannot say that I can't respect this man a little bit. Right, wrong, indifferent. Those individuals who were caught on that tape, those officers, during that film, his definition of deadly force and my definition of deadly force is different because the fact is I served in the military and he's serving in the civilian community, so it may be a little different or whatever. But here's what deadly force is. Deadly force is that force which is known or should be known to cause death or serious bodily harm. It is only used as a last resort when all lesser means have failed. That means you just can't go up and beat the shit out of somebody. What it means is if somebody goes up and freaking hits you in the mouth, you can hit them back in the mouth. You can hit them in the mouth, back, to protect yourself. The key aspect on that whole video was the fact that he pointed that the guy grabbed his gun. Okay, yes, correct. However, the fact is that whenever you're going in, you don't go in poking your freaking weapon, your barrel of your weapon into a man. Too much shit can go wrong. Everybody who owns firearms knows how safe you need to be with that. And putting a damn barrel in somebody's chest, just pointing it at somebody, is cause for alarm. One would want to protect themselves. But I have to give it to Granite Sanchez because he did what a leader does, and what a leader does, he stands up for his troops, he stands up for his men, he stood up for his men, and that you got to respect that. Because the fact is that that's what leaders do. Because we take the fault. We take the fault because the fact is we're supposed to be training these individuals better. And if we didn't, then we take the fault for it. And we don't go on a video and explain to it, whatever, made a decision or whatever. You take the hit, you say, okay, we're going to retrain. And none of that was ever said. It was said, we're going to retrain. We don't want this to happen again. Some kind of issue, no, nothing. Even though many people questioned it. Janet Castus didn't even put the officers up. She didn't even put the information in front of the grand jury to see if it warranted a trial or if it didn't. That would settle it right there. Go to a grand jury with the information you have, with the tape and everything you have. Go to the grand jury and let the grand jury decide. The citizens decide whether it's worth the trial or not. That is how we remain a civilized society. Just because somebody tells you something, don't mean that it's so. This practice of hearing it through the grapevine and from church to church to church in the gossip columns or whatever, it's not healthy. If you have something to say like that, say it to somebody's face. I'd have more respect for you. But yeah, we sit on the back porch, drink cold beer, and freaking bitch and complain about everything till the time comes to bitch and complain to the people who matter. We don't say nothing. because we're afraid. We're afraid that the possible repercussion it's going to have on us and our parents. It even goes as far as that your child could go to school and be bullied for your opinions. That is sad because we are implementing the same type of thinking to our children that we're actually experiencing today. I'm all for the old ways. I'm old fashioned too. But the only way things will change is people to say and stand up and say, no, this is right, this is wrong. And we have to have people who listen. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. So we know that right now the community has failed not only Tyler Lopez, but every individual that's in that jail more than 2 years. Normally, in a constitutional trial or the government actually even states it, within 70 days of not going to trial or having a trial date set, then the judge should start asking questions. Questions should be asked of the district attorney, and the truth should be told to the judge. This practice of the DA going in and saying, hey, we almost got on a plea. We almost be proud of that. We almost got on a plea. Just give us a few more days, give us a couple more months. We almost got it in plea. He'll play out. It's not only bullshit, but it's wrong. And people can't see the writing on the wall. I'm so sorry, but that is wrong with what's wrong with Angelina County. There is no justice here. And you have to go outside of Angelina County just to even find it. The district attorney's office was warned by Judge Limberly at the time and told them the long stays without a trial for these individuals was going to cause a problem down the road. County councilors was told this, and Judge Limberly addressed this to more than one person. Now, he's got charges filed against him because why? He spoke up. So who runs the county? Obviously, our commissioners don't. And obviously, our district attorney actually says, you know what, I can put my power and make them do what I want them to do. If they don't, I'll charge them with something. It's not the way the justice system works. It's not how we should expect it to work, and it shouldn't be left alone without questions. I'm an old ass man. I served in Afghanistan. I have burn pit exposure where I can barely breathe. I can barely freaking walk. You guys see me with a stick. It's not to protect myself, just because when I fall down, don't help me from falling down. It's just we don't fall down. I need something to get back up. So my days are already numbered. But I took an oath: protect and serve the people of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That means if you see something wrong as a United States citizen, you should be up and you should be actually questioning, protesting if necessary. These rights are no good for us unless we use them. And what we have done as a county, we have intimidated every person who lives here. Our sheriff's department does so. I'm going to pull you up. I'm going to find something to take you to jail with. I'm going to make up 15 charges, but guess what? Ain't none of them true, but guess what's going to put you in jail? Then we're going to put you in jail. You're going to sit there for 2 years waiting for a trial. Come on, man. Anyway, last thing. The community has let not only Tyler down, but has let those individuals who are innocent in jail down as well. You've also let down the persons that are in jail that happen to be guilty. You've let them down because the fact is that they have a right to a speedy trial, and they have a right to a trial, and they shouldn't be intimidated for going to trial. Why I say the community is at fault? Well, it's because the fact is that we don't do nothing about it. So it is our fault. There's going to be, in the next 2-3 months, there's going to be a lot of cases that are going to be heard for our county commissioners and all this, and they will actually go to court before Tyler Lopez. They've been waiting for almost 2 years. So I guess we got to live with that, because until somebody stands up, until somebody starts asking questions and finding out the truth, Angelina County is going to go nowhere. The only thing we have is Lufkin. If Lufkin falls, and the economy right now, everybody depends on Lufkin. So, the decision is yours. If you have the mind, if you don't want to go on video, if you don't want to speak up, you don't want to start calling and asking questions, then share the video. Because I guarantee you, the word is out. There are a lot of people outside the county looking in, and one of their questions is, why? Who voted for them? Who put these people in office? So, you need to start pointing your finger at yourself. Did you vote? Did you go to council meeting? Did you go to commissioners meeting? You don't have to go to commissioners meeting. All you got to do is record it. I mean, it's recorded. You can look at it. We don't even do that. We do not have a checks and balances system. Whatever they say goes. And we got to swallow the consequences. There's no reason, and this is why I have to speak up, is because the fact is that right now I still believe in the Constitution, which says a man is innocent until proven guilty. The only way to prove this individual guilty is to go to trial. And there's an entity called our justice system in Angelina County that's prohibiting that to happen. And purposely in jailing individuals with no intent of taking them to trial, but just to wear them down to where they got to plea. We have attorneys who actually are on a list that are assigned by our judges. They get assigned, guess what? They want a plea deal too. They don't want to go to trial. One has to ask, why is that? That's all for today. I'm going to try to make videos every day. I know you guys don't like to hear them, whatever, but anyway, I'm going to have to. I make them because I keep a library, and I keep a library of issues that I cover, so I can refer back to them whenever something comes up, and I remember. So, if you can, if it's not too much trouble, I'm not asking you to stand up and support. I'm asking you just please share the video to the rest of the community and see what they think. Let's do something that they're not doing in Angelina County in our justice system. Let's do something let's do something we're instructed to do. Let's get involved and let's start asking some questions. And if you can't do all those things for some reason, or you don't want to, whatever, at least just share. Just share the information out, and maybe we'll start getting some answers. All right, guys, I'm sitting here. It's 13 Kansas City, 3 to Cincinnati, 13-3 in second quarter. So anyway, I'm going to go watch the ball game. You guys be good, be careful. Please like and share. If you don't, hey, no skin off my back. Out.